Hey, our tour of Boston continues. One of our favorite people right here. You can see that, Samuel Adams. Some of you only credit him with the beer thing, right? But some of you only credit him with the beer thing, but he was actually governor of the Commonwealth and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. So pretty cool stuff. If some of you don't know where we are, this is, let me adjust my camera here, one of the most famous cemeteries in all of Boston. And Samuel Adams is buried here, as you saw. The first mayor of Boston is buried here. John Hancock is buried here. We also have Peter Faneuil, as in Faneuil Hall. Paul Revere, rode through my hometown of Medford, is here. And the parents of Ben Franklin right in the middle. And some of you don't know, Mother Goose is buried way back to the end there. So a lot of obviously very famous people here. The victims of the Boston Massacre are buried here. Thomas Paine is buried here. What you don't talk about a lot is the lifestyle back then was so much more rigorous than it is now. And I've had this debate with a lot of people, and they talk about, as we tour the garden, a visual tour here of the cemetery, is that lifespans were not particularly long. The diets that they ate were very high carbohydrate because they're so rigorous a lifestyle. We don't live that rigorous a lifestyle anymore, so we don't need the same nutrients, that is the carbohydrate content that they required back in this life. When I call it, they lived a little closer to the bone. That is, you could easily get a small infection that would be easily treatable today, and you died from it. A simple cough or a flu that we really don't think a lot of, and you died from it. So life was obviously quite a bit more harsh, and that's something that we need to keep in mind when we talk about our lifestyle and what humans are supposed to be eating, what we're supposed to be doing, that type of thing. Really interesting location if you haven't been down here. Like I listed all the famous people buried here. I'd like to tie that into the lifespan and what they ate and how rigorous and challenging the lifestyle was back then. So keep that in mind. We're going to continue our tour here, and we will talk to you soon. Hey everyone, Art McDermott from the Successful Aging Academy. I want to take a minute to talk about something that a lot of us don't consider on a day-to-day basis. I had a story, and I call her the 10-pound woman. I had a client one time, and every time I would hand her a set of dumbbells, she would insist on just using the 10-pound dumbbells. And one day I would hand her the 12.5-pound dumbbell, and she looks at me like aghast. How could I possibly lift something so heavy? I'm like, well, it's because you lifted a 10-pound dumbbell is ridiculously easy. You need to have some progressive resistance. That's the basis of strength training. You have to increase the stimulus to the muscle a little bit. And yes, you are capable of a lot more than 10 pounds. So eventually I got that point into her mind, and next thing you know, she's using the 15 pounds and even the 20-pound dumbbells on these exercises, and she's very proud of herself, and lo and behold, the golf game improved. She's hitting the ball further, and all because she had limited herself before to being the 10-pound woman. That's all she thought she was capable of doing. That's all she wanted to do until she was pushed just a little bit. So consider that. We're all capable of doing a lot more than we think we are. I see it at the gym all the time. Don't let yourself fall into this pattern. You're capable of more, and I'll throw a warning out there, right? I'm not saying go into the gym or around the house or whatever and try something that's well over your range. Make it slow, progressive improvements. That's how we were designed to react. That's how our muscles like to work. But you've got to challenge them, and you are capable of much more than you think you are.